This is for problem number 2 for group 2, or group B, whatever. Here are my integers. I'm just going to explain them as I go. Here I've got a statement printing. This helps with troubleshooting. Pain is just whether the number of clicks is an even number or not. And if pain equals 0, then the number of clicks is an even number. LED number, if it's 1, the LED should be on. If it's 0, the LED should be off. And the count is the number of times the button gets clicked. So when it gets pressed, let's just go through the code. So when the button gets pressed, it reads what the button is. So if the button does not equal what the old button equals, then I want the this if statement to run. What that means is like it's only going to run when there's a change in button, not going to be constantly looped over and over and over. So underneath that loop, if the button gets pressed, I want to add the count to 1. If the button gets released, I want the count to get added to 1. Then we find out if the count is even or not. So if it is even, pain will equal 0. And if the LED is off, I want the LED on, and the LED gets turned on. This number is just representation for me and my troubleshooting. Otherwise, if the LED is on, still underneath this larger loop of, the count being an even number, if the LED is on, I want the LED off. And for the ultrasonic, if the ultrasonic is less than or equal to 10 centimeters, turn the LED off, but remember what the old position was that the LED was. And if it's greater than 10, and the previous statement was on, turn the LED back on, set the pre to 0 so it doesn't loop through this again. That's it. Cool.
Yeah. So as it spins, the speed increases on the motor. Alright.
If I press both, it stops. Press this one, it continues. And it's going one direction. If I press the other one, the other light comes on, it goes the other direction. One direction.
And if both are impressed, then it stops.
If I press both, they stop.
Cool.
This is task 3 for group 2. We initialize our variables, a speed that is going to tell my motor how fast to go, a click that's going to read how many clicks the spinny boy reads, and then we've got the multiple, which is the multiples of speed increasing that we want the motor to go. So they go over here, all that stuff's normal. I've got this output, and it tells me my encoder count, so I can read where my pod is at and what the speed should be, or how many clicks it's got. And here I have my click equals, what the encoder count is divided by 2, because I'm going in increments of 10, not of 20. So if click is less than or equal to 10, and if the click is less than 20, I want the speed to be the multiple times 1. And I repeat this for every single increment, 20 to 30, multiples of 2. 30 to 40, multiple of 3, all the way down to the bottom. So this last one is click. If click is greater than or equal to 90, but less than 100, speed is multiple times 9. The last one, if click is greater than 100, speed is multiple of 10. So it's not going to try to go faster than what the max speed is. Over here we've got the button coding. So if button 1 is pressed, and underneath that if statement, if the other button gets pressed, I want the motor to stop, I want all LEDs off. Otherwise, the directional LED can be on, and the motor is going to move in one direction at the speed that we set earlier. So then if the other button leads, that one gets turned on. If the other button gets pressed, I want the motor to stop, I want the lights off. Otherwise, one LED on for that direction, and then the motor in the opposite direction for that speed. And then the last condition, if no buttons are on, I want no motor action, and no lights on. And that's the end of the code. Okay. So as I turn this,
Did become activated?
that should have been. Next, okay. Solenoid 1 should be magnetized. Solenoid 2.
Right, so it's magnetized.
And then touch them.
Pneumatic should go. And then,
See how it stops?
yeah.
And all of these are zeros. And I gotta resume after 10 seconds.
Wait 10 seconds, and it'll start going again. And then if we touch it one more time, it stops again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright, up here, the multiple is the maximum number of degrees from the pot divided by 5. So the first little bit of degrees will not have anything happen until we reach a certain number. The rest of these are 0. These are indicators for the state of whether the solenoids or pneumatic valves are open or closed. We come down here. We've got this statement that's going to be printed for pot count. Pneumatic valve 1, pneumatic valve 2, solenoid 1, solenoid 2. If the pot is reading greater than the multiple, so that means you've turned it all the way up to the first multiple, then valve 1 is going to open, and it's going to indicate the gas 1 is 1. So that'll report over here in the serial printing. So on and so forth, but 2 times multiple, second valve opens, second valve equals 1. 3 times multiple, third valve opens, solenoid 1 gives the signal for open. 4 times 4, the fourth valve opens, solenoid 2 opens. If the button is connected, the banana clips, it reads 1, and that signals all the valves to close, and then here's my indicator for my script to print that they're all closed. And then it delays 10,000 milliseconds, or 10 seconds, and then all of the valves open again. It reports all the valves are open, and then the statement prints out, and it resumes the process.